We got this 360 put in my cornet, and we're going to try to see if we can get it fired up. I've got things to button up on it. I don't know that we'll get it driving tonight, but we'll at least get it to fire up, hopefully. Got to put ignition, gasoline, and probably need to put an oil filter on it because I forgot to do that. It's got oil in it, but no oil filter. So I need to put an oil filter on it. I'll show you what we've got so far. This is a 5.9 Magnum out of a 2003 Dodge Ram. Summit headers, a pain in the neck on the driver's side. We finagled and bent. It was hitting the block, so we had to get a pry bar in there and twist them and bend them, and I hope they seal up okay after all the finagling. That side fit pretty good. The passenger side wasn't too big of a deal, but got to take the motor mount off, the steering linkage off, and starter off to get this one in there. They had to go in from the top, from the bottom, so see how that works. Got to hook up the exhaust. It's just open headers right now, but I'm gonna see if we can get this thing buckled up enough to at least fire and see what it's going to sound like. I don't know if this motor, it was running when we took it out of that truck. I don't know if it's going to work after I messed with it and put a camshaft in it, but we'll find out. Camshaft is a mystery grind off of eBay that I measured, and it should have somewhere around 496 lift. I have no idea what the duration is or anything. Lobe separation angle, I couldn't tell you, so we'll just have to see what it's like when it's running. And let's get into this. We're going to test and see if I can get this oil filter in here with these headers one-handed. Woo! Ah! Holding the camera with the other hand without falling off the block that I'm standing on. Because we got the car jack so high in the air. Oh, don't try this at home. Be smart. I'm not. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this one-handed. With this hand anyways. Well, it's in there. It wasn't too bad. It's a whole lot easier to do things when you're not on camera with one hand. Well, let's get these spark plug wires hooked up right. We got the ignition all hooked up, carburetor's all plumbed in. I'm in the process of putting all the front dress on this engine. We'll see if it'll fire here in a little bit. Had to modify the alternator bracket, still in the process of doing that. The Magnum head bolt pattern is a little bit different, so bolt the power steering pump right on there. AC compressor, I'm fixing to see if that's going to fit. I think it's going to work just fine. Well, let's see what it does. Well, I've got it all hooked up and went to fire it up, but we don't have any starter engagement, so I'm not sure what all that's about. I didn't put the starter on it. We'll figure it out later. I'm too tired tonight to crawl under there and mess with it. It's buried in that header, so we'll figure that out later. This evening we're finishing up, buckling up this 72 Cornet, and hopefully get it driving tonight. And got to tune the carburetor, set the timing, transmission fluid, check all the fluids in it, hook the steering link back up, tighten the drive shaft. I'll probably forget a bunch of stuff, but we're going to dive in there tonight and just start messing with this stuff and see what we can figure out. We've got 3-inch collectors on here. We welded up the other side. It was late. We just threw this one on there with clamps. Haven't welded it yet. It's just sitting up there so we could run it. So we may tack some of that up later. I don't know. But it was rattling because it's hitting here and over there. The same thing. We've already welded that one up, so we'll have to do some slight adjusting. So I'm going to change this gasket here. This is a 3-inch flange, 3-inch collector, and we had 2.5-inch gaskets. We tried to stick them in there anyways, but they don't fit right. So I've got this fancy smancy Chinese Amazon special flange gasket we're going to put on there, and hopefully stop some of the noise and racket so we can actually hear what's going on when we're tuning the motor by ear, because that's how you tune these old things, by listening to them. And vacuum gauge, but that's when you want to get technical. We don't even have a tachometer, so we just guesstimate the RPMs by ear on this thing. These headers are Summit brand headers. This is a Jegs exhaust kit that I got secondhand from a guy. It hadn't been used, but it was missing the collectors and stuff. Didn't have any mufflers. Those mufflers are cheap Accelerator XP, $29 straight through, kind of a MagnaFlow knockoff. We'll have to see how they sound once we get it all buckled up. Right now, we're just tuning on it, so try to get these exhausts where it's not hitting anything and everything, so we get a good sound on it. And these Summit brand headers were a pain in the neck. Those came, they're from the outlet, and I don't know, they had to be twisted, which it was made for an LA, and this is a Magnum too, but a little bit of prying, a little bit of finagling. It wasn't too bad, really wasn't. My cousin hates them, but he'll get over it. He did most of the work on the exhaust. I didn't have to do it, so. I love them. He hates them because he installed them with my help, because it's a two-person job, honestly. Well, let's see what else we can get accomplished. Well, where there's a will, there's a way. We're going to adjust the exhaust a little bit, see if we can get it off the frame so it ain't dinging. I don't know if you can see that or not, but this is hitting the floor. So we're going to put our adjuster in here, hopefully. Let's see if we can flex that down a little bit. I don't know if this is going to work or not. It's not that easy to get on, especially one-handed. You get the gist. It's still closed, but it ain't touching. Hard acceleration, it still might come up and bang into that. But maybe it'll keep it from rattling a little bit. We'll do some more finagling later. Dead battery. Well, I got it on the jump box, or the jump Yukon. Let's see if it'll fire up now. We're charging. See if we can get this thing to calm down a little. It wants to run. I don't know why that belt's squealing. I don't want to know right now. Sounds like it's idling at about 2,000 RPMs by my ears. That's a little better. We still got exhaust leaks and stuff going on around the headers, it sounds like. I don't know what that noise is, honestly. Maybe it's just normal. Woo! We got some adjusting to do. Let this thing warm up for a little while. We got all kinds of weird things. Well, that's leaking off the thermostat housing. It ain't sealed up yet. Y'all hear that knocking? It don't sound good. Watch my magic fingers here. Kind of goes away. The flex plate cover is not tightened down. It's loud. You can hear it everywhere. Need to put a bolt there. Woo! Little here, little there. We're getting real close. Yeah. That is not supposed to do that. So I ought to really seal that all up. I just didn't do a very good job of getting that sealed up. But I got it warmed up a little, just kind of going over things. I'm still probably going to call it quits tonight, and we'll check it out. You could drive it just like it is. Well, probably not, because I still got to deal with the steering linkage I forgot about. But now I've got the headers hot, so they go through the headers, and I don't want to mess with them. Boy, that's getting exciting. If you have any questions about anything I've done on this, just feel free to ask. Tell me what you want to see videos of. I wish I could have got more videos of me putting that motor in there, but it's hard to work, and grease and cameras don't mix very well. And but yeah, it's ready to romp, and it sounds mean. It sounds real mean.